Hello again. Sorry about the gap since my last and first tutorial about improving spoken English and trying to prevent some of the awful howlers and basic errors that we hear being used today. Now, um, I decided, in fact, that while it's been quite a long gap, I've written a very short book just laying down some of these unfortunate errors that keep on being made. And if you want to buy that, it's very, very cheap. I think it's £2.45 on Amazon in Kindle form. And then you can see what I'm saying written down. It might be easier for you to follow that. But meanwhile, I'm going to point out a couple more often rather excruciating errors that I hear. And the first one of those we will take is the use of the basic verb to be. Now, is denotes the singular and are the plural. There is one person on that bus. Any more than that, and we should say there are three people on that bus. But I'm afraid it is often heard there is three people on a bus. Ah, dear. I mean, this is even more common, it seems, in the shortened form. You might hear, there's three of us on this bus. It should be, there are three of us on this bus. Or there are three of us on this bus. So please, if it's a plural, then use the plural form of the word to be, or any other verb. All right? Plural is are, singular is. Oh dear, I know I'm making a bit of a meal of this, and you may think it's all trivial, but to me, glaring errors such as these are destroying our spoken language. I mean, if we can't be bothered to match singular with singular and plural with plural, then frankly, I despair. Now, most such slapdash mistakes should be easy to rectify with a bit of care and thought. However, there are more complicated examples which can trap many of the less wary. Collective nouns fall into this category. These are singular nouns which refer to a group of people, or perhaps they might be a group of animals or just things. Let's take some examples again. The crowd was enormous. Not the crowd were enormous. That's pretty obvious, I think. Likewise, the crowd of demonstrators was enormous. Again, not were. Perhaps that's less obvious this time, because without due care, the subject may be misconstrued, and it is the subject which determines the case of the verb, i.e., singular or plural. Crowd, singular, remains the subject, not the demonstrators. So you use the singular form of the verb. The crowd was enormous. Similarly, the crowd of demonstrators was enormous. And then you can take examples with animals. This herd of cattle was not producing enough milk. Not were not producing enough milk, because it's the herd that is the subject, and the herd is singular. Likewise, with, say, some things, you might have a collection of antiques. The collection of antiques was not very valuable, not were not, because again it's the collection that's the subject, not the antiques. All right, let's go on to another example which occasionally causes confusion. This is none. Now, none is simply short for not one. Not one sweet was left in the bag is obviously correct. So, likewise, none was left in the bag is also correct. But that might not be quite so obvious. but it is short for not one, and therefore it takes was and not were. All right. Not one sweet was left in the bag is clearly correct. Not one sweet were left in the bag is clearly wrong. And that's why none takes was and not were. Let's go on now to a few words or expressions which often seem to be used incorrectly. Again, extremely annoyingly. And perhaps one of the most annoying is unique. Unique is an adjective which means only one of its kind. All right? A thing or object is either unique or not unique. It is an absolute state and so cannot be qualified. Therefore, something cannot be quite unique or nearly unique or absolutely unique. It is either unique or it's not unique. Right, let's take one more gripe of mine before we close this slightly longer tutorial than perhaps the last one, and that is the word rubbish. Rubbish is a noun, not an adjective. Let's perhaps say, after a humiliating defeat, a supporter may declare, "We were rubbish," or worse still, "We was rubbish." Of course, we fully understand the feeling of frustration expressed by the supporter, but it's terrible English. The use of rubbish as an adjective has become so widespread, though, in colloquial English anyway, that it seems to become legitimized. Even many reputable dictionaries give examples. I saw one that said he was a rubbish schoolmaster, or it was a rubbish play. These were apparently acceptable nowadays. But that's using rubbish as an adjective, and it is not an adjective, it is a noun. So please remember that. Well, I'm going to stop there, but don't forget, if you want to see all this written down, and you can go back over it and try and there's some more examples given, but it's a very short book. You can get it on Kindle, on the Amazon Kindle, for I think £2.45. Anyway, I'll do another one of these YouTube tutorials in a few days, or it might be a week or so, just in case you got the patience to wait for the next blunders which I shall be telling you about. Meanwhile, I hope you're all well, keeping alert and sane is what I'm telling everyone. Thank you very much, and goodbye.